Long before Europeans arrived, diverse indigenous civilizations thrived across the land. These were not just nomadic tribes but sophisticated societies. They built cities, cultivated crops, and had rich cultural traditions. Each nation had their own languages, religions, and ways of life. These Native American tribes lived in harmony with nature for centuries. From the deserts of the Southwest to the woodlands of the East, they adapted to their environment. They fished the rivers, hunted game, and cultivated crops like corn, beans, and squash. However, their world changed forever when Europeans arrived. European diseases and conflicts decimated the indigenous population. The arrival of Europeans marked a turning point in the history of the Americas, leading to the displacement and oppression of Native Americans. Despite the hardships they faced, Native Americans have persevered. Their legacy lives on in the names of places, cultural practices, and the ongoing fight for recognition and rights. Their story is an integral part of understanding the history of the United States. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer funded by Spain, reached the Americas. This marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the New World. Driven by gold, glory, and God, European powers raced to establish colonies. The Spanish established settlements in South America and the Caribbean. The French explored the northern regions and established trading posts for furs. The English, arriving later, settled along the Atlantic coast, establishing 13 colonies that would eventually become the United States of America. Life in the colonies was harsh, with settlers facing disease, starvation, and conflicts with Native Americans. Despite the challenges, the colonies grew as more Europeans arrived seeking new opportunities and religious freedom. The arrival of Europeans also led to the transatlantic slave trade. Millions of Africans were forcibly brought to the Americas to work on plantations, primarily in the southern colonies. This cruel system of slavery would leave a lasting scar on the nation's history. As the colonies prospered, tensions grew with Great Britain over issues of taxation and representation. The colonists believed in self-governance and resented the taxes imposed by the British Parliament without their consent. This led to protests and boycotts, culminating in the Boston Tea Party of 1773. In response to the growing unrest, the British government sent troops to quell the rebellion. However, the colonists, led by figures like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson, were determined to fight for their independence. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, a document that proclaimed the 13 colonies as free and independent states. This declaration, penned by Thomas Jefferson, asserted the fundamental rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The American Revolutionary War, from 1775 to 1783, was a long and bloody conflict. However, the colonists, with the support of France and other European powers, emerged victorious. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially recognized the United States of America as a sovereign nation. After gaining independence, the young nation faced the challenge of westward expansion. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 doubled the size of the United States, opening up vast territories west of the Mississippi River. This fueled the spirit of manifest destiny, the belief that the United States was destined to expand from coast to coast. However, westward expansion came at a cost. It led to conflicts with Native Americans, who were forcibly removed from their lands and forced onto reservations. The Trail of Tears, the forced relocation of Cherokee Indians from their ancestral homelands, stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of expansion. Furthermore, the issue of slavery, which had been a source of tension since the nation's founding, became increasingly divisive. The Southern economy depended heavily on slave labor, while the North increasingly viewed slavery as a moral abomination. These tensions finally erupted in 1861 with the outbreak of the Civil War. 11 Southern states seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America. The war, fought between the Union, North, and the Confederacy, South, was a brutal conflict that lasted 4 years and claimed the lives of over 600,000 Americans. Section 5. Machines and Factories, the Industrial Age. The latter half of the 19th century witnessed a period of rapid industrialization and technological advancement. The Industrial Revolution, which began in Europe, transformed the United States into a global economic powerhouse. Factories sprang up in cities producing goods on a mass scale. The invention of new technologies, such as the steam engine, the telegraph, and the telephone, revolutionized transportation, communication, and daily life. The growth of industry attracted millions of immigrants to the United States, seeking better opportunities and a better life. This influx of immigrants, while contributing to the nation's economic growth, also led to social tensions and challenges. However, industrialization also led to harsh working conditions, low wages, and the exploitation of both immigrants and child laborers. This era saw the rise of labor unions which fought for workers' rights and better working conditions. Section 6. Global Conflicts, World Wars, and Their Aftermath. The 20th century was marked by two devastating world wars that drew the United States into global conflicts. World War I, from 1914 to 1918, began in Europe, and the United States initially remained neutral. However, the sinking of the Lusitania, a British passenger ship carrying American citizens, by a German submarine, and the interception of the Zimmermann telegram, a secret diplomatic communication from Germany to Mexico, shifted public opinion in favor of intervention. The United States entered World War I in 1917 on the side of the Allied powers, helping to secure victory against Germany and the Central Powers. Following the war, the United States emerged as a global power, but it also faced a period of economic recession and social unrest. World War II, from 1939 to 1945, erupted in Europe with the Nazi invasion of Poland. The United States again initially remained neutral, but the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 propelled the nation into the war on the side of the Allied powers. The United States played a pivotal role in World War II, both in the European and Pacific theaters. The war effort mobilized the nation's industrial capacity and led to significant technological advancements, including the development of the atomic bomb. Section 7. The Cold War and Civil Rights, a Time of Change. Following World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the two dominant superpowers, marking the beginning of the Cold War. This era was characterized by ideological conflict, political tensions, and the threat of nuclear war. The Cold War shaped global politics, leading to proxy wars, espionage, and the nuclear arms race. Within the United States, the post-war period also witnessed the rise of the Civil Rights Movement. African Americans who had faced centuries of discrimination and segregation began to demand equal rights and an end to Jim Crow laws. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks spearheaded the movement, advocating for nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience. The Civil Rights Movement led to landmark legislation, such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The Cold War and the Civil Rights Movement were defining moments in American history, shaping the nation's domestic and foreign policies and leaving a lasting impact on society. Section 8. A New Millennium, the United States Today. The late 20th and early 21st centuries saw rapid technological advancements, particularly in the fields of computers and the internet. The digital revolution transformed communication, information access, and daily life. Globalization, the interconnectedness of economies and societies worldwide, increased, leading to both opportunities and challenges. The United States faced increased competition in the global marketplace, outsourcing of jobs, and concerns about national security. The terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, marked a turning point in American history, leading to the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and a renewed focus on national security and counterterrorism efforts. The United States also faced ongoing challenges related to income inequality, healthcare access, climate change, and political polarization. Debates over immigration, gun control, and social justice issues continued to shape the national dialogue. Section 9, The Story Continues, Challenges and Progress. The story of the United States is a complex and ever-evolving one. From its humble beginnings as 13 colonies to its current status as a global superpower, the nation has experienced periods of great triumph and profound tragedy. The United States continues to grapple with its legacy of slavery and its treatment of Native Americans. The struggle for equality and justice for all citizens remains an ongoing process. Despite its flaws and challenges, the United States remains a beacon of hope and opportunity for many. Its commitment to democracy, freedom, and innovation continues to inspire people around the world. The story of the United States is still being written. It is a story of progress and setbacks, of unity and division, of challenges overcome and challenges yet to be faced. It is a story that belongs to all Americans, regardless of their background or beliefs. The future of the United States depends on its citizens' willingness to learn from the past, confront the present, and work together to create a more perfect union.